We're excited about the year. We feel real good about our schedule, and we feel real good about our basketball team. We've got a lot of returners back from last year. Um, we felt like we finished the year on a positive. It felt like we should have won the NIT, and just got so behind so much with Temple that we were not able to get. We got back in, but didn't have anything left to really win the game. And but we should have controlled that game and went on to the next game, which I think probably would have been at Middle Tennessee also because of our attendance. But we left out of that game and went right on into our strength and conditioning program a week later, and we felt like part of our weakness last year was we were not in great physical shape, and we didn't do a real good job of some of the programs that we had to compete against. And so our number one priority was getting stronger and hopefully getting our players in shape where we could compete with some of the programs we have to compete with. And I think Matt Riley's done a tremendous job for us. I feel good about them. I think they feel good about themselves, and we're excited to get this thing started.
Deal with a little bit of adversity last year. Going into this year, you're picked to win the conference. What is that mindset going into this season, and what do you do as a coach to keep your players focused?
Well, we really didn't look at it. I didn't have to deal with any adversity. She did. But it made us a better basketball program. We had to kind of reinvent ourselves 2 weeks before we went into the conference tournament. And, we struggled a little bit against Southern Miss in that semi-championship, semifinal game. But I felt like coming out of that and getting into the NIT like we did, I thought our kids grew up. I thought Taisha came on board, did a great job, went from averaging like 12 a game to like averaging 24. And then I thought Bria Edwards finished up strong. She had like the last game, I think she had 18 rebounds and 22 points. Olivia's been playing strong for us all year long. So, Becca Reuter got better. So we've got some exciting things that we think that's going to take place.
Rules changes. Could you go over just a few of the significant rule changes and how you think they might impact the game?
I don't know, Dick, that they're going to really impact the game as much as everybody thinks they are as far as we're concerned. We don't get caught up in all of that. You go into quarters now. Also, the 5 fouls. After 5 fouls, you're shooting the double bonus, much like what the NBA does. And I think you're seeing that trickle down from the NBA to men's basketball to women's basketball. The women's game, if you look at it real close, what the men tend to do, it usually trickles down a year or two later. In this situation, it didn't. They changed it right off the bat. I think Kermit addressed this. Their arc was, they moved it out a little bit. Ours stayed the same. End of the game, I kind of like. You can progress the ball, timeout, bring a ball down, and run your sets on the sidelines. I think more than anything, that might impact everybody in the fact that now that, and again, you look, the NBA does that. And so I'm a big NBA person, so when it came down, I was one of those guys that kind of was excited about seeing that.
What were some of the team goals headed into the season? Some coaches work on strength and conditioning. As a team, what did you want to improve on following the way last season ended?
We had to get stronger. We had to get stronger at every position, from our point guard all the way to our 5 position. And I think we've done that. I look at our young ladies, and you can look at them in their practice gear, and they don't even look like the same players that we had last year. They're stronger. They're more defined. They're running the floor better. They're rebounding the ball with some authority. And, what we've got to do now is we got to get out and play somebody. Our exhibition games and things, that'll give me a better idea of what we need to do or what we need to work on. We've been having some fantastic practices. I thought our worst practice was Thursday afternoon, which was our last practice in the auxiliary gym. But I thought that really was a positive for us because I think it showed our players we were not near as good as we need to be, and we've got to come back with a little bit more focus this week, and I think they will.
About players specifically, Bria Edwards, she's cut down on a lot of weight. Is she going to be a more versatile player this season?
Well, Bria, it took her a year to get back into playing condition. You know, she sat out a year where she didn't play anything. You know, she kind of got messed over at the junior college, and she sat out a whole year. I mean, you can't, if you're an athlete, I don't care what sports that you're playing, especially Division I, you're not going to be able to just take off for a year and then walk back in and think that, you know, because I played in the rec center a day or two a week, you're going to be in shape. And I think she saw that early on, and she spent all last year getting her body where it needs to be. And right now, I'm real proud of what she's done. And that kind of shows you you know, the discipline that she's got and the commitment that she's got, not only for herself, but for this basketball program to put herself in that type of condition.
Coach, have you guys, what have you guys done in the post game, and who's going to be, you know, your main post player this year and under the basket?
Right now, we've got 5 young ladies that we're looking at. Becca Reuter being basically, she's really kind of overshadowed the rest of them. But Gabby Lyons has improved. I've been really excited about what I've seen out of her. Tiana Porter is just a specimen. I mean, she can jump out of the gym, and, you know, at times she looks like she needs to be a first-team All-American. If we can get some consistency there, I think she's really going to have a good year. I think Alex Johnson coming in from Blackman, I felt like she was one of the top recruits in the country last year, and we were very fortunate to get her. And you know, I think before it's all said and done, she may knock down one of those positions there, and she's really doing good, a good rebounder, good shooter, and really knows the game. I think if you look at the overall, all our players, and I think this is what a lot of people maybe miss out on, look at all the championships they won when they were in high school. I mean, you know, Ty and Olivia won 3 state championships in the state of Tennessee. You just don't do that. There's very, very few on one hand you can count that's won 3 state championships. And then you look at Alex Johnson's won 2. You look at Gabby Lyons, she was in the finals of the state 4 years. You look at Katie Collier, she won 2 or 3 state championships. Abby Sissom was Miss Basketball and got Cannon County to the state tournament 3 or 4 years, you know. So you can just come right down the line. I may have missed out on some of our players, but if you look at that, they know how to win. And they know how to win. We may not be the tallest, we may not be the laterally quickest that you'll see out there, but our young ladies know how to win on the basketball court, and that's what I'm excited about.
Coach, Gino Oriema seems to have a bit of a chip on his shoulder about the amount of coverage that men's basketball gets compared to the little coverage that women basketball gets. He's even gone as far as to criticize the men's game for, as he put it, the offense being a joke. What's your personal opinion on those comments?
I don't get into all that. I'm very fortunate. I hear these stories all the time between men's coaches and women's coaches and football coaches. I'm the women's basketball coach here at Middle Tennessee State. Kermit Davis is a friend of mine. Matter of fact, I think he's one of the finest coaches in America. And since I've been here 10 years, I don't know that Kermit and myself have had a problem of any practicing. If he needs to go early, he can go early. If I need to go early, he allows me to go. We don't have a problem. We pull for him, he pulls for us. And when we can go see them play, and when they can go see us play, you'll usually see their players watching our games and our players watching their games. So, you know, we're all in this thing together here at Middle Tennessee State. You know, and that's the only way we're going to succeed is all of us pull for each other. I know I didn't answer your question, but, you know, I don't want to say a lot about Gino because we're trying to get him in here.
Well, kind of touching on that, you know, you've been head coach for more than a decade now in the collegiate ranks. In those years, have you seen the women's game evolve in college? You know,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's not even the same game. You know, you look at the players back then 10 years ago and some of the players I even had, you know. I think Chrissy Givens maybe could have played any time, but they're stronger, you know. They know how to play when they get here because they played so much travel team ball and summer basketball, and usually they don't play any other sport. So, you know, some people are for that, some are against it, but if I was a young lady and I had skills in the game of basketball, Or if I was a young man, I had skills in basketball or baseball, wherever they may lay, that's where I'm going to put my emphasis. And if I was a female athlete right now and I had basketball skills, I'd be playing every lick I could play. Every time I could get a court somewhere or go on a weekend tournament, I'd be gone. I mean, that is if you want to play at a high level. Now, if you just want to go through the motions, I'm sure you could probably get a scholarship down the road somewhere, maybe at Western Kentucky or somewhere,
Playing our friends from the north a couple of times this year instead of just
Well,
one.
I thought that was a big, big mistake that the conference made, to be honest with you. I mean, that just shows you that they didn't, men and women, they didn't put any, they didn't really study that. I mean, probably one of the biggest rivalries in the game of basketball, especially in our conference, would be Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And if you want to grow the game, the men's game and the women's game, then why wouldn't you play those two opponents against each other and play them twice a year like we're doing this year? I thought they really, I don't think that was real smart last year the way we did that. Now, I may get fined for that, but I really don't care. I thought they made a mistake, and I think that Kermit probably feels the same way.
Looking at how competitive Conference USA is, how you guys are number one in Conference USA. What does it speak to how your team really is to be at the top of that race? Because it seems every year that CUSA is a very competitive conference in regards to this.
Well, you've got 32 conferences, I think, and last year maybe we ended up 12 out of 32, I believe. I'm not sure on that. At one time, we were at the seventh best conference when I first got in the Conference USA. And I think what you see is you got some programs like Western Kentucky, ourselves, maybe Old Dominion, that are carrying the conference. And I'm sure that Kermit will address that on the men's side. But, if we don't play better competition, we're going to continue to have only one, if we're lucky, maybe two teams that get in the NCAA tournament. What I'd like to see our conference do is to at least put 3 teams in the NCAA tournament, and we're not going to do that until we improve our non-conference schedule. And you'll see us doing it, and you see Western Kentucky doing it a little bit. But besides those 2 programs, I think more people are concerned about wins than they are really about improving our conference. And, some of those wins that they get, that's what prevents them from getting into the NCAA tournament at the end of the year.
Individually talking about Olivia, I know when the preseason poll came out and she was named preseason conference player of the year, she credited you for helping her with her attitude coming from last year. What have you done with her to work on that?
Just treated her like a young lady that she is. Olivia, she's growing up. She's getting more mature. She's a great player. I think the future is very bright for her, but she's in control of that. And, if you're going to play at that next level in the WNBA, then they're looking at the total package, not just if you can rebound and score, but you can handle yourself off the floor, handle yourself on the floor. She's doing a real, real good job. I think the last 3 months is probably as good a 3 months as she's had. I'm really proud of her. Now we got to carry that to the game floor. She knows that, and very deserving. I thought she was probably Conference Player of the Year last year, to be honest with you. I mean, she led the conference in scoring. She was second in rebounding, third in steals. Maybe sometimes her attitude on the floor might have prevented her from getting that, and she knows that. But the coaches came back this year and voted her preseason Conference Player of the Year. Now, it's in her hands what she does with it, and I've been real proud about what I've been seeing.
Play your son again this year. You saw him this weekend. What is that like every season? You were at Ole Miss. Did you trade parting shot?
We never, to be honest with you, and we very seldom talk basketball. We talk horses. Very seldom. I mean, because when we start talking basketball, he's so competitive, I'm so competitive, it runs the weekend. So we just, we talk family and, just things like that. And, every now and then he'll get a question in, but really he's trying to figure out, how well Olivia's practicing or what Ty's doing, and I just say, I kind of take that old thing. We're not going to be able to rebound. We can't run the floor. We can't shoot. But we did win by 28 last year, I think. So he knows that. And again, I tell him, hey, we're up 2-0 right now. If you come in here and beat us, we're still up. So. But I feel real good about our schedule. I think we got a chance to really make some damage, create some very positive vibes. And again, that's in our hands. We can handle that because we got Kentucky at home, Ole Miss at home, and Virginia at home. And you're supposed to win at home. And I think our young ladies know that we got a great chance to do some damage early.
Process been like for Caroline Warden coming back from her knee injury this offseason?
It's been tough. She's never been hurt. That ACL is a tough injury to get over. I mean, it's, they had to go back in and do some more work on it. She's looking good right now, but we're really not going to push her to really do a whole lot early. I'm thinking maybe first of the year. Now, that doesn't mean she's not going to play against Virginia or some of those other teams, but I'm not going to play her many minutes. Maybe get her in, get her out, get her in, get her out, just kind of build up her stamina there. She's a competitor. Again, you're looking at a young lady that's won 2 or 3 state championships, and when she goes in the game, she's going to go wide open. That's why she got hurt. And we're gonna need her down the stretch. So we're going to try to kind of work her in a little at a time.
You've said many times how important women's basketball is in Rutherford County and this region in itself. Football is now fighting to save its season. With women's basketball starting up now, do you feel like you guys can be the face of MT Athletics this fall?
I don't even think about that. Heck, I'm sitting at the Ole Miss game listening to every play of our game. I'm true blue. As far as I'm concerned, Stock's going to go in. He's going to take this week out, and we're going to come back and win. We got 5 games left. Is that what we got? We're going to win all 5 of them. 4 games left? Okay. We're going to win all 4 of them then.
Olivia averaged about 38 minutes and took close to 900 shots. Do you want to see her minutes and that shot count? Do you want it to get to be north or south of 900 this season?
Probably south. We're gonna we wore her out last year. We used her and we played Olivia every position except the one, and so we're going to try to early on. We're not going to give her as many minutes. We hope not to anyway. But you get in some of those games, and I'm one of these coaches that I'm not going to lay down at night and think, well, Olivia Jones was on the bench for 15 minutes and we lost a 2-point game. We're going to have our best players on the floor as much as I can have them there, the ones I trust. And they earn that trust in practice, not in a game.
You mentioned earlier about how much this team has improved athletically. How much faster as a team have you noticed them in practice?
Faster?
Yeah.
I don't know if we're any faster or not, but we look stronger running down the floor. Now, we are faster. Becca's getting down the floor. Gabby Lyons getting down the floor. Tiana, that's really Ty's just stepped up. Livy and Bria. I mean, we're really at that point in our practice right now where we're trying to put that together. So I'll be able to answer that question a little better 10 days from now, But we got to get up and down the floor with some of the programs we're playing. Ole Miss is going to push it as hard and as fast and as many times as they can, and so is Kentucky, and I'm sure Virginia the same way. So we've got to be in better shape. If we don't, we're going to lose some games early.
Talking about Tiana Porter a little bit, she had a pretty good postseason last year. What are your expectations for her this season?
I'd like to see her go out and play about 22 minutes a night and average about 15 points a game and about 10 rebounds. I could sleep a lot better. And she's got the body that can do that. She's got that basketball frame and can jump out of the gym. But, again, that's going to come down to Tiana.
Any other questions for Coach Insell? What would you tell the newcomer to Murfreesboro or maybe an incoming freshman what they can expect from your team this season?
From our team, you're going to play on a national platform every night. You're going to play at a program that's in the top 20 in attendance in the women's basketball. You got 346 programs, and we're in the top 20. We got some of the most loyal women's basketball fans in the nation. You know, that's what you can expect. And our team, they're going to be exciting as always. We're going to shoot the three. We're going to press. And you know, we feel like the more times that we can shoot it, the more times we get to shoot it.